You've switched careers. Now you're competing against people with years of experience, and you're overqualified for the role you don't want to do and underqualified for the new role. Now, every rejection validates I've made a mistake. Now, what if I told you that transferable skill and all that experience you have is your biggest advantage? In this video, I'm going to show you what's holding you back. First challenge you're going to have is imposter syndrome. As a career switcher, you make a lot of applications and you also get a lot of rejections. But when you get rejected, it cuts a little bit deeper because it validates that you've made a mistake, or so you think. Now, the reality of the situation is you're comparing yourself with people who've been in the industry for years. They have skills, they have a network, they have stuff that they've built in that role. So your beginning is being compared to their middle, and their middle is being compared to your beginning from your perspective. Now, the good news is companies aren't just hiring for skills, they hire for company culture fit, work style, soft skills. Who are you as a person? Why do you want to work in that company? What sets you apart from everybody else? You see, if you can nail that, you have a much easier time actually job searching. Your job search isn't application, hard skill, rejection until the end of time. Your job search is a strategy where you can educate your skill and how you fit into the company. Market saturation. You see, as a career switcher, you're probably not thinking about the amount of people you're competing with. The market, when you were applying last, and this applies to career switchers because you've probably been in the role that you've been in for a while, and that was a completely different job market. This job market right now, you're competing against thousands of people, you're competing against systems and AI software to eliminate market saturation. So your biggest issue is too much competition. There's too many people. You have to stick out from the crowd. Sticking out from the crowd means that you have to do more than just applying. I'm going to share a little bit of info towards the end of this video of one of my clients, Morgan Jackson, who got into St. James Wealth Management. He was able to just move away from the traditional application model and start speaking to people to handle the market saturation issue. If you're competing against 1,000 people and only 5 people can be interviewed, you're playing the lottery. So market saturation is an issue. How do we fix it? We do more than just apply. We want to use LinkedIn to our advantage. We want to start networking. We need to have a list of companies we want to work in, and we need to map out people who are decision makers. I'm not talking about recruiters. I'm talking about people who can actually influence hiring decisions. If you're looking for, let's say, a data analyst role, rather than speaking to a random recruiter, you might want to speak to a senior data analyst. That senior data analyst could influence project details. When there's new projects, there's new hiring needs. That senior data analyst would be influencing the hiring manager about who they need on their team. So rather than going through the filtering system of market saturation as an issue, go to the source. Speak to people who are actually influencing those hiring decisions. Transferable skill education. What do I mean by that? You have skills in the current role that you're moving away from. They could be very uniquely transferable, but you're not educating employers about how they are transferable. You might be looking at this way too traditionally. You have a resume, it has the skills. Those skills are then read by an ATS system. You're auto rejected. You don't have a chance. Somebody reads your resume, if you're lucky enough to pass the ATS, and it doesn't really hit the transferable skill. So being able to educate employers, that means that you need to have a resume that's not only ATS optimized, but actually reads through how transferable. What is the benefit if a company hires you? Now let's look at the example of Morgan. Morgan was a teacher. He had a lot of transferable skills. His resume read like a teacher's resume. He wanted to get into wealth management. Wealth management, like the skills a teacher has, but the way that it was structured wasn't transferable. When he had the opportunity to educate the employers on how transferable the skill set was and the reasoning behind him wanting to do the job, he had a much better chance. So much better that he had 5 offers in 5 weeks. Now, his resume before was very basic. His resume after highlighted the soft skills. So teachers have communication, they have organizational skills, they have attention to detail. Now pair that up with a company culture fit, which is why he wanted to go into finance, because it was hierarchical, it was structured, and he had the soft skills to go with that. He was able to generate conversation. Here's Morgan.
Hi everybody, my name is Morgan Jackson. I'm 32 years of age, and I'm here just to say a few quick words about how helpful Milo has been and how exponentially important How to Job has been in helping me secure employment within the financial industry. Before I met Milo in the short amount of time that I've been working with Milo, my LinkedIn profile wasn't especially professional. I really didn't know how to network and use LinkedIn properly as a tool. And even more importantly, I had no knowledge about how the unadvertised job market worked on LinkedIn. However, as I mentioned before, in the small amount of time of working with Milo, my profile is not only now much more professional looking, my handles and my hashtags and my algorithms is corrected to make sure that the jobs recommended to me fit my personal profile, and my networking skills and my understanding of the unadvertised job market has exponentially increased. Without Milo's help, this would have been essentially impossible for me to do as coming from the teaching profession, as I didn't really understand the nuanced system of transitioning from education to the financial sector. Without Milo's help, I would have had none of those interviews and I would have had none of those job offers at some of the top 5 wealth management companies in the world.
Now, if you're a career switcher and you want to replicate what Morgan just did, reach out to me. There's a link in the description. You can book a call with me and my team, free 15-minute consultation call. We'll break down how likely it is for you to actually career switch into the industry you're interested in, and we can make that happen. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.